Thank you. Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you for joining us today. As Tammy stated, my name is Karen Moore, and I am a Business Development Manager here at Avnet. I am one of the 70-plus folks dedicated to the EMC business units here at Avnet. For those of you who are not aware, Avnet is the largest EMC and VCE global converged infrastructure distributor and the only EMC VSpec Blue global distributor. And this is not only due to our global reach, our highly skilled technical teams, but also because of the partnerships we have. And with that, I'd like to introduce Avnet from Vistara, who is here to talk to us today about hybrid cloud management. Aki?
Okay, thanks, Karen. My name is Avnet. I'm Senior Director of Marketing at Vistara, and thank you to Avnet-EMC for hosting Vistara today. And thank you all for joining. We're very excited to talk to you about partner transformation into cloud, hybrid cloud management. So in our time today, there's a few things that we want to cover. First, let's talk about hybrid cloud trends in the enterprise. What are some of the things that your customers are facing, and what will that mean for you? We want to spend the bulk of our time showing you what managing a hybrid cloud service from an IT operations standpoint looks like. We'll look at two use cases around managing a critical application with resources that are on-prem and in the cloud. And then finally, let's talk about what a roadmap looks like for partners who want to move up that value chain to provide managed hybrid cloud services to your customers. To give you some context about Vistara, we are a cloud-based platform for IT operations. We're architected to manage the modern hybrid cloud IT environment, and we're the only SaaS IT operations management solution validated by EMC Labs for managing these specs today. Vistara is a proven technology with over 1,100 customers under management on the platform, by and through over 100 partners. Our coverage and integrations are broad across technologies, including cloud. And we've been recognized in the past year for a number of innovations. CRN named us the Tech Innovator for Managed Services. We're a Gartner Cool Vendor in IT operations. And we're very excited that we're awarded EMC's VSpec's Most Valuable Partner last year as well. So what we see in both enterprise IT and our service provider customers is that they struggle with an incredibly diverse IT landscape. The already complex traditional hardware and software vendors is made even more difficult to grasp with the advent of cloud and the consumerization of enterprise technology, which is changing end user expectations of what IT services are. The guy in the middle should be familiar to many of you and for your customers as well. Vistara solves for this complexity by, we say, unifying IT operations management. While many point tools can meet one piece of your IT operations management needs, Vistara is the only true IT operations lifecycle management solution that's easy to deploy and it's delivered in the cloud. So you see IT operations lifecycle management as a set of capabilities that you need to operate your environment from cradle to grave. So your business has highly visible applications. It's getting the maximum value from technology. As I mentioned before, Vistara manages a wide range of technologies on-prem in the cloud. And as a SaaS platform, you can be sure you have the most up-to-date templates and integrations that you need. So we bring together IT operations management with service management, which is unique in a single platform, and not as modules, but as a single solution with that ops focus. And finally, Vistara has everything you need to provide to your management, your customers, the reporting and insights that you need for your business, like how you're doing with your SLAs, with compliance and security. So moving to hybrid cloud, you've been hearing for years that it's coming. The private cloud trend has moved pretty quickly, and I think we can say is mainstream today. The Gartner poll asked enterprise clients last year how far along they were in their private cloud computing strategy. And you can see 72% said they plan to have a private cloud service in place in 2014, and only 11% saying they had no plans for this. In the same poll, they asked respondents if they'd be pursuing a hybrid cloud strategy, by 2015, and 70% said yes. So there's a desire for your IT customers to deploy even if the execution hasn't happened yet. You can see where the trend for hosted private cloud and hybrid cloud will be going over the next 3 years as well. It's going to be, greatly increasing. Where we see the biggest opportunity for partners is to help customers manage their multi-cloud deployments. So the same group of IT executives said that management and operational processes were by far the biggest challenge for them in private cloud computing. They're challenged to transform the way they manage technology to operating service-centric, automation-focused approach, which is really where cloud is bringing us to. And cloud is really going to accentuate these challenges. Many of these IT organizations have to manage private cloud with internal staff, and we see that as an opportunity for service providers to gain the capabilities to really help them with that challenge. What does all of this mean for you as a partner? Obviously, hybrid cloud can be complicated. You see the word cloud at the bottom. There's so much complexity in new technologies, and this is really just scratching the surface. The definition here of hybrid cloud service has really resonated with me, and in particular, why building this capability to manage hybrid cloud environments could be such a sweet spot for our partners. It's the coordinated use of cloud services across isolation and provider boundaries among public, private, and community service providers, or in between internal and external cloud services. So we talk about IT becoming a service provider to the enterprise at Vistara and having to manage the blurring of lines between internal and external. Seeing partners who can step up to help manage this new paradigm are in a great place to build the credibility and help enterprise solve a real challenge going forward. So let's look at some use cases for what managing an application with hybrid resources might look like for a partner. We'll use, obviously, Vistara as the example. But we thought it would be really helpful to really look at this at a tangible level. So our customer here is Acme Incorporated. Let's say they're a mid-sized online retailer with e-commerce sites and dozens of digital properties. They have a few data centers, 1,000 servers, and they have a combination of private cloud infrastructure running their line of business applications and public cloud for their more elastic and customer-facing APIs. Acme's core e-commerce service is made up of a number of IT services, including a database service that resides on a private cloud, let's say that's Vistara, a catalog API that's used by vendors. It might be seasonal, so it's in a public cloud, say AWS. An e-commerce web app and API, again, something that might be more dynamic, and they are leveraging a public cloud for an cache service image with high volume requests per minute, and also sits within a private cloud. So what we'll do is walk through two use cases. As a service provider, how do you organize the application as a logical service and visualize it in a way that helps you manage it from the service level down to the devices? And then second, we'll dive into, if you're an engineer, how do you remediate an incident that affects this service from end to end? So as Acme's managed service provider, I want to understand from top to bottom the e-commerce service. Now, Vistara uses a policy-based management infrastructure with gateway and agent technologies. We can perform management functions and create secure tunnels to end devices, to execute anything from get data and configure remote access, and it connects back to the Vistara cloud. So I would have deployed Vistara gateways and agents in Acme and run the automated discovery that includes network devices, servers, storage, desktops. It also includes the internal VMs and ESX hosts that were discovered with vCenter and Citrix credentials and any of the cloud assets that Acme has using cloud credentials. So I create a comprehensive mapping that captures this hybrid app and runs across both my private and public cloud resources. The customizable dashboards let me set the performance metrics that Acme cares about. Might be small, but one might include e-commerce site transactions on their site. You can see the list of top CPU or memory utilizing devices. And with role-based access control, I can give different customers within Acme the views that they need. The map visualizes the relationship that makes up the services and is agnostic to where the underlying infrastructure lies. So the service map itself lets you drill down from the broadest level at the e-commerce level that you see in the left to its component parts like the database and web app services that we talked about before. And then you can keep drilling down to the individual devices. Now, the details can be seen at the intermediate IT services level as well. I may need to know how the database service is performing. And we have predefined monitoring templates that I applied here to show a view spec and the top storage pools or volume or storage capacity that I need to know for this service. And I can go even further to the device details, including graphs for running performance metrics or the device history of alerts, what applications are running on it, if the patches are up to date. So as the partner who's accountable for this e-commerce app's availability, health, and performance, I now have a way to organize the application as a logical service in Vistara in a way that lets me manage it from top to bottom and across all the resources that make it up. Now, what does that look like if I was managing this service from an engineer's perspective? Let's say there is an incident that potentially affects the service being up. This morning, I, as a service provider engineer, receive an email alert that's high priority. The CPU utilization is high. I open the alert in Vistara and look at the details for the impacted machine, including the escalation matrix, to see who else on my team had to work on it. And a ticket has automatically been created based on this alert. The escalation matrix tells me who's responsible for the issue and who else may have worked on it. And you may not be able to see, but we're going to say it's Joe. I could also figure out who to work with, or perhaps the escalation matrix was initiated because the L1 admin had sat on the alert for over 10 minutes, and this is a business critical application that's potentially impacted. From the alert, I start with the device details. So I dive into the node that's affected and look at the most recent history for the node. And diving into the graph, I see a high I/O rate. So wanting to know a little more about this, either from the device or from the alert, I check to see if there's a knowledge base article, knowledge management, for troubleshooting a CPU utilization issue. And I see that a colleague had mentioned a similar issue was resolved on another Cassandra node where the root cause was discontention. And it tells me what I need to do to remediate this. So going back to the node that was fixed before, the audit recording tab for the node has a video playback of all the console sessions that have been executed in a kind of DVR way. I look at the audit recording, it pulls up a window, and I can see what my teammate Joe did. To reduce that discontention, he changed the commit log directory to a disk that's not being used by the data directory. And, you know, as the engineer, I'm thinking maybe Joe didn't fix this node, all the other nodes that had the same issue, and probably caused this alert. So I opened the service map that we had built before for the e-commerce app to launch the consoles for the remaining Cassandra nodes in the DB database. So you might not be able to see the details here, but here are all the devices that are associated with it. And I can choose all but one and say I want to open directly a console into these devices, and here are my credentials. So armed with the knowledge that I had from Joe's good work the night before, I remotely opened Tunnel to securely access the consoles and able to broadcast across all of them to fix the issues across all the nodes. And this is, whether they are in the data centers or public cloud. And finally, I am confident that I've addressed this alert, so I go to the service desk and I can directly close the incident here. And the record of this will stay with the device history, but also with my ticketing system. And so we have all of this integrated in a seamless experience from the alert all the way through to resolution. Now, because this incident affected the critical e-commerce service, I need to prepare a customer report for the management team. In a minute, I can generate an incident report to send as a PDF or PowerPoint. In this case, it's a PowerPoint, and I can go and tweak my notes to make sure it's reflecting everything I want it to. And in the meantime, I know that my customer at Acme actually has a customer dashboard that we had built for them that's customized to the things that they care about. And so they can drill in and see the necessary pieces that they would be interested in. So we've talked about how IT is moving towards more hybrid resource IT models and what managing a customer in this kind of environment might look at. So why are we talking about moving up the stack? Well, so at Vistara, we believe that partners need to make this transition to provide more managed services and managed cloud services. I don't think anyone will argue that cloud is here to stay and that there's a huge market opportunities that the partners can address with the right capabilities. You also know that hardware margins will continue to be squeezed, and your business needs higher margin services and recurring revenue services to stay profitable and relevant. And finally, we are all in very crowded markets, all of us. What can we do to provide that extra value to the customer? We think being able to provide more insights and help customers offload some of these roles that aren't key for them is a lot of value that they're looking for. Now, Vistara provides a roadmap to help you with this evolution. If you're only selling hardware today, we think, take a first step by reselling the management technology. Vistara is a platform that customers need to manage their solutions, and you can provide that as a reseller. If you have managed services today, build out your service capabilities to manage the end-to-end lifecycle management for your customers' infrastructure. And we'll talk a little more about, we are really built for managed service providers to help make them more efficient and productive. And say you already have the engineering and sales in place in a solid managed service business and have stepped into cloud. Let's talk about how you're going to bring hybrid cloud management and really be in front of that curve with your customers. One example of a managed offering can be a managed vSpec. I'm sure many of you recognize the new set of boxes here with vSpec Blue. We're very excited to be working with Avnet-EMC to help you bring management to your customers. This is one step into managing your customer's infrastructure, and with Vistara, obviously you can expand into much more of their environment as well. So why Vistara for partners? The Vistara solution has the technology, the process, and the business model innovation that we think partners need today to transform and stay relevant in the new world. The technology is made for modern IT and to manage services like that e-commerce app that we talked about across hybrid resources. Or a SaaS platform, which means that we deal with the software so that it's effortless for you to stay up to date with the latest technologies and best practices for IT operations. Now, the capabilities that partners get from Vistara help drive profitability and customer satisfaction. And finally, as I said before, we're built to help partners succeed. We see Vistara as the Salesforce.com for your engineers, where they can work in a single command center to do their job day in and day out and do their jobs more efficiently and effectively. We've been lucky to have some really great managed service providers who work with us and give us feedback and make our product better every day. Green Pages and Data Corp are two of them, and they've been fantastic partners, and also articulate why they chose to stay with Vistara much better than I can. So our message around, we do bring you that single pane of glass. We help you bring better visibility to your environment, make you effective and efficient, and help your engineers and your business get better. Really, I think they put it better than I could. So what are the next steps? Contact us at Partner at Vistara IT to learn more. We would love to have you schedule a demo. Obviously, you saw a screenshot version of it today, but we would love to spend time with you to find out what you need and to share with you what Vistara is capable of. And visit us at www.vistarait.com. Now, in addition, for those of you in attendance today, we would like to offer 1 month of free Vistara for VSEX management for all the deals that are registered between now and the end of May. Please do contact us at partners@vistarait.com or talk to your Avnet rep to learn more. Now, thank you for your time today, and we are looking forward to continuing the conversation with you. Before I turn it back over to Tammy for Q&A, I'm going to introduce Mahesh Ramachandra, who is Vistara's product management lead, who will help us with the Q&A. So, Tammy?
At this time, if you would like to ask the question, please press star then the number 1 on your telephone keypad, and we will pause just 1 moment to compile the Q&A roster.
Great, thanks, Tammy. Before we take questions from the audience, we had a few questions come in through the private chat during the presentation. And our first question is, can Vistara automatically discover VSPEC's elements? If so, what type of elements can Vistara discover?
Great, I'm happy to take that. Hello, folks. This is Mahesh here, the keynote writer on product management for Vistara. That's a good question. So in terms of the elements that Vistara can discover, specifically elements that make up a VSPEC's deployment, Vistara can automatically discover the network components, meaning switches, the server components, the virtualized hosts, as well as storage components, EMC storage devices behind a VSPEC deployment. So all of the elements that make up VSPECs, Vistara can automatically discover and present to the user so that they can select those elements to be managed.
Great, thanks so much, Mahesh. Tammy, any questions queued up from the audience?
And no, we do have no questions at this time.
Okay, well, we have another question that came in. What EMC storage models can Vistara manage?
Yes, Vistara currently manages the VNX, VNXE, and VMAX lineup, all of the models in all of the models within those product lines, those 3 product lines, VNX, VNXE, and VMAX. They're fully supported in terms of monitoring, availability, performance, capacity trending, reporting, and so on. We're looking at expanding support for other makes and models as they come out as well.
Great, thanks again. Tammy, any questions queued up?
As a reminder, that was star and the number 1 to ask a question. And, sir, we have no questions at this time.
Okay, we have one more question that came in the chat. Can you elaborate on Vistara's reporting capabilities?
Sure. With respect to reporting, and it's particularly relevant in the context of a VSPEC's solution that we just talked about, Vistara has extensive reporting in the way of predefined templates that give you information around the availability, performance, and capacity of network elements, the storage arrays, as well as the compute elements, the virtualized hosts, from a historical perspective. So Vistara gives you multiple metrics and some analytics around them to give you and present that information in an easy-to-consume report that you can schedule upfront so that you get the report automatically emailed to you every month or on a periodic basis. So the reporting really makes it easy to sort of, once you configure Vistara to manage your devices, the reports automatically get set up, and it's mostly a set it and forget it sort of an operation. And then every month you'll get a report that says, here's the health of your vSpecs, and here's the capacity of your vSpecs environment. It's an easy to consume fashion.
Great. Thanks again, Mahesh. If there are no questions queued up from the audience, Tammy, I'll turn it back over to our speakers for closing remarks.
There are no questions at this time, and you may continue with your closing remarks.
All right. Thanks, Tammy. Thanks, Jason. Again, thank you all again for joining today, and special thanks to Avnet and EMC as well for having us. I hope we're able to show you, why looking at hybrid cloud management trends for your customers and for your own capabilities is going to be really important, and how Vistara can help you do that. Again, please do contact us if you have any additional questions that weren't able to be asked today. Partner at vistarait.com, and we look forward to continuing the conversation. Thank you.